Welcome to another episode of Jax Adkins Archery. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my 2025 3D archery season. So first off, I'm going to be going over my equipment. I have my title right here. That's what I shot all season for the most part. I shot the first two ASAs with my Atlas. For a release, use the StandOnX thumb button, heavy metal. It does not have a click. This is the regular one. For IBOs, I used Gold Tip X cutters with, at the beginning of the year, 90 grains in the front, but moved to 100 grains in the front, and they just seem to group a little tighter and fly a little better. For ASA arrows, I used Gold Tip Triple X's. Then for stabilizers, I use a 30-inch front bar and two 15-inch back bars. I have 21 ounces out front, 24 2/3 in the back right, and 14 in the back left. That just really works well for me. Actually, any tournament that I won this year, I had that exact stabilizer setup. I shot some different stuff at the beginning of the year and just found out this setup works the best for me. Then for draw length, it's 30.5 and poundage is just under 70. I use a Hamskea peep sight. I have a 5/32 peep aperture. I do not have a lens in the scope or a clarifier in the peep. I have a 10 thousandths pin in my Excel AVX41 on an Achieve XP. For the rest, I use a Hamskea Epsilon with the target conversion kit. That really works well for me. I like that rest a lot. And then I use tack vanes. On my X cutters, I have 2.25s. On my Triple X's, I have 2.75s. So now I'm gonna go over my ASA performance. So at Foley, I didn't do so well. It was completely my fault. I shot one down. It is what it is. It was my first time ever judging out to 40 yards. So I can't really complain. It wasn't good though. Moved to Fort Benning. I had some time to get outside and shoot. The weather had cleared up some and I was able to judge a little more and practice that. And Benning, I shoot 4 up first day. I just played it way too safe. I shot 4 up with no 8s. Next day, I get out there and I'm gonna be a little more aggressive. And that's what I did. I shot 16 up the second day and 20 up for the weekend. And that put me 4th. I was happy with how I shot, but it didn't put me in the place that I wanted to be. So then I moved to Camp Minden, go down there, and first day, I was doing pretty good. I think I was 8 up with 5 targets to go. I was shooting well. And I shoot an arrow with a broken nock, and that's a 0. So that moved me back to 2 down, and then after, 4, I was 6 up, moved me to 4 down. And I got back to even in the next 2 targets. And instead of just being like, okay, I'm even with a 0, and the next 2 targets were pretty tough. So I get up on them. It's a Wolverine, about 39 yards. I shoot him for 38 and shoot an 8 low. Then the next one's a hyena target, and my max is 40. I shot open 40. And I look at it and I'm like, I know this is over 40. So I shoot 41.5 at the lower, thinking if it is all the way to 42, I'll still hit the bottom of it. It turns out that target was closer to 45. So that wound up being a 5 low. So I'm 7 down after the first day. And just some bad luck and then poor decision making. So going into the next day, I was like, I'm gonna be so aggressive. I shot every target for what I thought they were at the lower 12 for about the first 12 targets. And I was 2 up. No, I was 2 up. And then in the last 7 targets, I shot 6 up and put me 8 up on the weekend. or 8 up on the day and 1 up on the weekend. So some bad luck, and 11 up was what got third. So a little bit of bad luck shooting that broken knock kept me off the podium. It's my fault I didn't check out the knock and it was hit on the previous target. So that didn't go how I wanted it to. Then London got canceled, and I go to Metropolis, and Metropolis is so flat, and I mostly ground judge, or I did mostly ground judge. I kind of got out of that, and I'll get into that when I talk about my IBO. So I was like, okay, Metropolis, I'm gonna have a big score. First day I shot 14 up with 8 12s. So a really good day. Put me tied for first, and then going into the second day, I was putting together a solid round. I was 12 up with 5 to go. I think I'd shot 2 8s. So I was putting together a solid round when they called it for the rain. And we never got to go back out. So technically I tied for first on that tournament. And so that, I mean, I was happy with how I shot. I was really happy with how I did. Going into the Classic, I wasn't sure what to expect. I had never gone and shot at that tournament before. I didn't know how it was going to be. And I was not expecting them to be able to take away the ground like they did. And being a ground judger, and I don't get to see a lot of the McKenzie targets around here. I have to drive over 2 hours to shoot one. And so I mostly just rely on the ground. We get out there, they take away the ground. There's some, shooting over a dip, and, ground drops off targets 5 yards past where the ground drops off. And I don't have the target recognition with those to know. So first day wasn't that bad. I shot 4 up. No, I shot 6 up. I was 6 up first day. Wasn't that bad, wasn't good. I was in the mix. I think 10 up was leading it on that range. I go the next day, I'm feeling pretty good about it. First target, shoot a 12, shoot a few 10s, shoot an 8, shoot another 8, just keep going, shoot a 5 on a Wolverine. Underjudged it by about 5 yards probably. Shoot a 5 on a Coyote, it was about 42. I was being aggressive, so I shot it for 40. It fell out the bottom, barely missed the 8 line. Next target, shoot a 10, then shoot another 5 on, it's a Russian boar. Shoot a 5 low on it, and they were all yardage. Everything I missed was yardage. It was just a struggle that weekend, and so I was frustrated. So the ASA season did not go how I wanted it to, but the IBO season did. So first tournament of the year for IBOs was Winter Nationals. I shot a good first 20 targets. I was 8 up, I think. Then in one set of 10, I shot 6 down. So just like almost got rid of everything I had done on the previous 10, or in the previous 20. I just struggled with my numbers on that set of 10. And that's on the next 10, I shot 5 up. Shot a 407, I was 7 up, got third. 2 points off of winning. So I was like, okay, I did okay. That's just how I felt about it. I expected a little bit better score, and I almost did. It was just one set of 10 targets that I just didn't have it. And it was a lot of, ups and downs, taking away the ground and stuff. And I was only ground judging at that point because I hadn't seen enough targets out to 40 yards to, recognize, okay, that's what a 38-yard black boar looks like. So I saw some more. So Spring Nationals got canceled. I went into pipe stem. On that Wednesday, I got sick a little bit. A lot of allergy stuff going on. So I wasn't feeling my best going into Saturday, and I shot all 40 on Saturday. I was 3 up in the first 20. I struggled a lot. No, I was even in the first 20, 3 up in the first 30. And I felt a little weak. I was having some dips. My numbers weren't there. It just was a really struggle of a weekend. And then the wind picked up in them last 10. Just huge wind. At one point I shot 3 8s in a row to the left with good shots that I was breaking them on the right side of the 10, and they went all the way across the 10 ring to the left. So that wasn't ideal, and I shot 6 down on that set of 10. And it put me 3 down on the weekend, and I needed 2 up was tied for third. Second and third were tied at 2 up. Then go to Franklin for the second leg national, and I felt pretty confident. I was feeling good. The first target of the tournament, I underjudged by some. It might have caught bottom of the 10. It would have been close, but it probably would have been an 8. I hit that arrow, glanced into the 5. So that wasn't good. First target was a 5. So I got that out of the way. Then I stayed in the 10 ring for the rest of the tournament. So I shot 11 up total and got second for the tournament. That also moved me into second for the Triple Crown, which that was really good. I was happy about that. But I was 18 points out of the lead. So going into Nelsonville, I was like, my Triple Crown spot doesn't really matter. I was so far out of it. I was like, okay, I'm not even going to worry about the Triple Crown. I'm just going to shoot and do the absolute best I can for that tournament. And that's what I did. I stuck to my game plan the whole time. I judged good enough. Had 3 big mistakes. I shot 3 8s, but I shot 19 up with 25 11s. So I was really happy with how I did there. My numbers still weren't quite where they wanted to. Same thing with Franklin. My numbers weren't that good. So after the Classic, the ASA Classic, I was like, okay, ground judging is not working anymore, because it's just not consistent enough, because they can do so much stuff to the ground. And I see enough Reinhardts to where I can kind of look at them and get you real close, I felt like. So I shot a few ranges that week and practiced, just looking at the target, getting a feel, and then ground judging to check. And I was like, this is working, Go to Worlds, shoot the bow hunter defense range. Did okay. I did okay. I was not hitting 11s, but I was staying in the 10, and I was like, okay, we can make this work. Shot a few targets the morning before we went out. First target was a 10. Finished out the rest of the 10 with 11s. Shot 9 up in the first 10. I shot 3 up with an 8. Last target I shot an 8 on. I second guessed my number right before I glassed it. I second guessed my number. I was like, it might be 37. I took 2 out of it. I had 39 on my sight to start with, and it fell right out of the 10. It was a javelina. If I'd shot it for 39, I might have had the bottom of the 11. It would have been close. It was probably 40. So I was like, okay, I judged well, shot well. I'm happy about it. I was leading the tournament by 3 points, and after the first 20 targets, first day. And so I got drawn for the bow hunter defense shoot off that evening. So I get out there on it. I'm feeling good. Numbers, I got my first one right, shot an 11 on it. And then I just kept hitting 11s throughout the whole thing. I didn't miss an 11 out there the whole time. But I won the bow hunter defense shoot off and got put in the best of bow hunter defense. We both shot 11s. I was a little higher than he was. I lost the best of bow hunter defense shoot off. But I was happy with how I did out there, how I handled the pressure, because there's a lot of people watching you, and I didn't let it affect me. So the next day I go out there and I shoot an 11 on the first target. I was like, okay, this is good. It was a lynx, about 35 yards. Shooting 11 on it. Next target, which a lynx, it's so dark that I might have just been holding a little bit to the left. Next target, shoot a 10 to the right. Next target, 10 to the right. Next target, 10 to the right. I think I shot 5 10s in a row to the right, and I got it sighted in, and then I started hitting 11s. I shot 3 up on the first set of 10. Next set of 10, I shot 9 up on. So I got that cleaned up, and it never was my shooting or my judging. It just didn't work out. A little bit of bad luck was happening, but 12 up on the day, 24 in the 40 targets. Really happy about that. I was leading the tournament by 10 points going into the shoot-off. and I was feeling good. I go out there for the shoot off, which actually I shot with a cracked limb all weekend. I didn't see it until I got finished with the second day's tournament. Not sure what happened there, but I got it fixed, got a new set of limbs on there, and it's doing good. And I'll just skip to the end. I shot 7 up in the shoot off. I did not have to hit the last target to win. I wound up winning by 13 points, which I was, ecstatic about, really. I was really happy with how I did. And I actually skipped a part. So the eagle eye shoot off, you shoot an inch orange dot at, it was about 30 yards on a 3D target, and I hit it 3 times and won. And you shoot against everybody. Won that shoot off too. Won Worlds, so that was just quite the weekend for me. And I also closed out Shooter of the Year. So I was IBO Shooter of the Year, World Champion, and second in the Triple Crown. So IBOs actually went how I wanted them to. I'm really happy with how I did over there. But overall, I improved a lot this year and looking forward to next year. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and have fun out there shooting.